Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Yo, what's good, y'all? What's the word? What's going on? How everybody doing out there? Y'all already know what it is, man. We are back again, and it's time for the Thursday banger. It's time for the Thursday banger, y'all. That's a lot. It's time for the Thursday banger, and I got one. I keep a banger at all times. But like I always say before I start these videos off, man, I have no problem delivering this content to everybody that's out there working hard, working a 9 to 5. Everybody that's out there with their own business, getting to that bag the legit way. I make sure y'all got something to watch in the morning times, and I promise y'all, there's no problem on my end. I also have no problem making sure I'm warning y'all and telling y'all about how dangerous prison is. I only ask for one thing in the process, and that's for y'all to just stay out the way, man. I want you to love your life more than you love your homeboy's life, man. I want you to think about your family before you do something stupid, man. When you leave them, it's going to be a bad situation, man. I've seen it happen, man. I've been a part of it, man. When you leave your family, man, it affects them. I'm letting you know now it affects them, man. Especially you people out there that's in the streets that got kids. It's going to really affect them, man. Like, I seen how dudes look when they come back from visiting room, man. Yeah, they get to see their family and their kids. But when they come back from visiting room, I seen the tears in their eyes, man. Because they let their kids get away from them, man. You way up here, they got to drive 2.5, 3 hours to see you. Like, it's a lot on a child, man. It's a lot for a child to see her dad in a visiting room, man. Like, let's break the cycle on that, man. Let's just stay out the way. We out here right now with our family, man. We out here right now with our kids. So they don't gotta come to no visiting room, man. We just stop doing crime. All I'm trying to tell y'all do, man, is just stay out the way, man. Because it's hard times in penitentiary, y'all. Trust me, I've been there. Period. But y'all already know what it is, man. This is the Thursday banger game. So what did y'all do with this one? Like, share, subscribe, swing, y'all. Let's get it. Skip it. Let's go. What? It's time for business. It's time for business, y'all. And the story I got for y'all today is called They Was Beefing Over My Bro. Plot 1. Crazy story, crazy situation, but we are where, people? We are in penitentiary, man. Crazy things happen all the time. And I'm telling y'all, man, like, you will see things happen like this, man. You will see female COs, man, that actually go home every day, man, but they will come to penitentiary where their job is at, where they get a check at, where they supposed to be taking care of their family with this money, man. They will come to penitentiary and get them a boo thing, man. That is so crazy. I ain't mad at them, though. Like, at the end of the day, man, dudes be in there barracudas, man. I ain't even gonna lie, though. Dudes be barracudas in there. Dudes be down on those women, man. So maybe it's not really just the women that's risking themselves, man. I mean, yeah, they are risking themselves, but at the end of the day, the dudes be down on them. So, like, it might be hard to resist a guy in prison. Like, I don't know. Don't get me to lie. But at the end of the day, though, man, like, I seen it happen, man. I seen women come in there and fall in love. That's just how I go in there, y'all. So with that being said, though, we are on Lawrenceville for this, y'all. We are on Lawrenceville. And I can remember being in 30 building for this one, man. And it was like, it was a time where everything was kind of like going good in 30 building for me, man. Like, I'm doing great at this time. And this is around the time where I'm kind of getting a la-la. And I'm getting an exotic la-la around this time. And y'all already know Big Tip coming through for me, man. Major. So, like, I'm doing great around this time, man. Like, I don't have a care in the world, man. I have a phone. I got somebody that's bringing me the package, man. I got money on the street. I got money in the sale. Like, I'm doing good. Like, I can blow the la-la whenever I want to, man. I was living a great prison life, if that's what you want to call it, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. So, like, on top of being on Lawrenceville, like, everything was feeling like it was running smooth at this particular moment. And it was. I was sitting back kind of observing how our pod was, and it was like, it was so many people in my pod that was on the same type of time. But it was just like, I got in easy and started getting money because I ended up getting an exotic. Like, Exotic just started hitting, like, you know, Exotic been on the street, but this one, it started hitting in prison like that. You know, for a while, Lawrenceville had mid. So the mid was over with when I started getting the loud pack game. Like, that started making it a little better. So dudes used to route me, though, because they already know when I go to VI, I'm coming back with that, man. So going over there getting that pack, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting the money. I'm messing with my homeboys across the hall. Everything is going smooth, man. So, like, it used to be a bunch of ladies that was running around, man. Like, it'll be so many dudes. I didn't see so many dudes who got to fighting or got to arguing or just any type of thing with these women on Lawrenceville. Now, On Sussex 2, it was at a high degree of dudes hollering at COs, situations happen behind dudes, these dudes hollering at COs. And for real, that kind of really made me not really want to be a part of that life. I be telling y'all that, like, and I still would try my hand if the situation presents itself. Like, a woman got to kind of like be down on me for me to be like, yo, I'm going to be down on her. And that's just how I had to be. Like, I wasn't chasing nothing because it too much come with that. I have witnessed it. I've been down long enough to see that when you mess with a female CO in there, it's like, it's definitely no winning lane. Like, you're not going to get to the finish line of nothing. I mean, you might get the pack for a while, you might get some sex for a while, but at the end of the day, it's not going to last. And it could be ugly for you. Like, it could get ugly. And I have seen this, man. So coming to Lawrenceville, it's the same thing on steroids, man. Like, it's so many women. Like, it had way more women than Sussex. So Lawrenceville had so many women, dudes will bump heads over hollering at the same joint. That's just how it be. So in my building, 30 building, like, that happened, but not happening a lot because whoever was locked in with who, that's how it used to be. Now, it was one lady over there, man. It was one lady that used to work the joint. I ain't gonna lie. She was a super cop. She was one of the super cops, man. Like super cop. When I say super cop, I'm talking about you got something in your window, she taking it out. You got something in your light, she taking it down. Like, she doing stuff like that. She catch you 229 and she might say something and probably write you up. So she was on it like that. But she was one of those COs that, like, she carried it like, yo, she was invincible. Like, nobody can bag her. And, like, I didn't care about bagging her. And I don't think nobody else really cared about bagging her because she was such a cop. But she worked our building. She used to work the second shift. So when she come to work, everybody already knew what it was. She didn't really care about the la-la. She just cared about if you breaking the rules as far as light, window, tuck your shirt, and all that BS like that. That's what she cared about, man. We're going to call this lady Miss Williams. Now, Miss Williams, she had the blonde little braids. That's she, like, I don't know if she ever changed. Every time she had braids, she would get the micro braids, they'll be blonde. She'll get the little box braids, they'll be blonde. She'll get the little fake jumps that look like dreads, they'll be blonde. It was like she was in love with blonde. Real talk. So that's all she really wore was like blonde braids the whole time I was there and seen her for the period of time she was there. But like, she was the type that, you know, she would talk to certain dudes. I ain't even gonna lie. She would hold conversations, but somebody had told me that her mama or her auntie or somebody worked the other side. So like, that's how she ended up getting in. So, you know what I mean? She was cool. She was cool. She used to, you know, still talk to dudes, but still though, she would write you up for some BS and everybody knew it. So the whole time she was working in our building, man, I seen not one dude be able to bag, you know what I mean? I used to see dudes down on her because she wasn't ugly. You know what I mean? She kind of light brown skin, had the braids, you know, she had a little body. She won't hit at all, you know what I mean? So like, dudes would be down on her even though she was a cop. Me, I never mess with her because I knew she was a cop. I'm trying to move through the shadows with this loud pack. That's all I'm trying to do, y'all. So boom. So through the midst of that, it was like seeing a CO that thinks she was invincible, man. Like on Lawrenceville, like I think a lot of dudes looked at that as a challenge because I'm telling you, man, like dudes be down on them women on Lawrenceville. That's just how it goes. So I can remember, man, my homeboy, man, I was on the yard and they had just brought some new intakes in the joint. You know what I mean? They brought some new intakes in the joint. So when I seen who the intakes was, I seen it was my man. You know what I mean? This was a dude that was on Sussex. He was on Sussex 2 with us, you know what I mean? Early, like he came from St. Bride's early. And he didn't have a lot of time then. But when he got to Sussex 2, he was going home in 05. You know what I mean? So he didn't have a lot of time when he was around us. But when I seen him, it was crazy because he was back. He was back in penitentiary because I knew he went home in 05. Now this is years later. This is 2011, something like that. So like this is 2011, something like that. But he's been on the street, you know what I mean? So to see a dude that been on the street and now he's back in the intake line was wild, you know what I mean? So I see him, I'm like, yo, we're gonna call him Brian. I'm like, yo, hey Brian. He looked, he was like, I was on the fence by the court, I'm like, yo, he was like, who that? I'm like, man, it's T White, bro. He was like, oh man, he walked to the gate, he was like, what's up, bro? I was like, what's good, man? What's up with you, man? He was like, man, probably a little 5 years back, man, you know what I mean? Had a girl, man, got into it with my girl. She called a PO on me, man. I pulled at the hammer, all type of, he just telling me, I'm like, what? Like, it was crazy like that? I'm like, yeah. He was like, yeah. I was like, man, that's wild, man. I was like, what building you going to? He was like, man, they said they sending me to 60 building. I was like, yo, bro, I was just in that joint, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. That joint San Francisco over there, bro. He was like, for real? What do you mean San Francisco? I was like, bro, listen. I said, you remember how Sussex was, bro? You know what I mean? All the boys and all that stuff. I said, bro, listen. That joint over there is where the boys are at. Now, I said, I ain't been over there in a little minute, like a year and change. I said, but like when I was over there, that joint crazy. He was like, man, I ain't tripping. I'm just ready to get out of receiving, bro. He was like, they had me at power time, man. He was like, that joint was trifling, man. He was like, I was ready to dip. So he was like, I'm just happy to be on the spread. He was like, I struck though. They sent me to Lawrenceville. He said, man, I used to talk to dudes on the jack that used to be up here and everything. I'm like, for real? I was like, what building they was in? He was like, 80 building. So me and him kicking for a minute. So he was like, what building you in? I'm like, I'm right here, bro. I'm in Dirty 30. That's what they used to call my building. I'm like, bro, I'm in Dirty 30, bro. He was like, Dirty 30. I'm like, yeah. Dudes over there winning. He was like, yeah. You know what I mean? He was like, man, yeah, bro, I gotta get a haircut, bro. He was like, man, the barber at Powhatan, old dude, messing your edge up. He was like, man, I gotta get this joint. He had like a little fro, but he had the good hair, though. He had a little, small little fro. He was like, I gotta get a cut, though, bro. He was like, for real, though, man, like, I gotta get my joint straight, man. He was like, yeah, I see all these joints. I see the nurses. I see her. I said, bro, listen, they up here. They up here now. Let me tell y'all something about my homeboy Brian. Man, we was on Sussex 2. He booked on Sussex 2 before he went home. I promise you, man, like, he was just one of them dudes, not really a barracuda, but like, for some reason, he can get a joint to have a conversation with him. You know what I mean? Maybe it was because he was about to go home. I don't know what the cheat code was, but all I know is this man, he bagged on Sussex 2. So that's what he do. You know what I mean? He had a joint on Sussex 2. He was hitting her. He was doing all the above, getting the pack, everything. But he wasn't staying there long. You know what I mean? So he did it all the way up until she got hot. Then she quit. And then he ended up getting transferred. Then he went home. You know what I mean? But I witnessed this man bag a CEO and get to that money, y'all. So boom. So I knew it was in his rap sheet. So I like when I see dudes like that come up there. You know what I mean? So he like, yo, so what's good like that? They be, what's the ticket? What they be talking about? Like, what's going on? I'm like, yo, bro, like, for real, they be one. I said, they be some dudes giving up $1,000, bro, to get them to move, bro. I said, they might give up $1,000 to make a jump, bring that pack. He was like, for real? He was like, I'm gonna get her to bring it for free. I was like, who? He was like, man, I seen a few joints. I said, bro, I already know you about to be. I said, they on that side. I said, yo, that's San Francisco. Where you about to go? I was like, but the women is on that side, bro. Real talk. Now, the south side had way more women than we had on the north side. You know what I mean? That was a fact. I was like, yo, bro, they over there. Real talk. He was like, yeah, I'm about to go over here, get a haircut. You know what I mean? He was like, I gotta order my sweatsuit. I gotta do this and do that. So I'm like, that's what's up, man. So I'm like, look, bro, I'm in 30 building, man. Holler at me if you need me, bro, anytime. He was like, what's up with you? I said, look, I be getting a loud pack, bro. He was like, for real? I'm like, yeah. He was like, man, how you getting it? I'm like, bro, do the VI. So I'm running it down, giving him the play. He like, man, that's what's up, man. He was like, yo, that's crazy, man. He was like, who else up here from the town? I'm like, bro, there's a few other people up here, you know what I mean? A couple other dudes, a lot of dudes. I said, everybody up here, you might see a lot of dudes, especially on that side. I said, but on this side, there's a lot of dudes, you know what I mean? He was like, that's a bet, that's a bet. He was like, I'm gonna holler at you, bro. He was like, man, I need something. I said, look, bro, I'm going to the VI this weekend. I said, I got you. I said, come outside Sunday. He was like, all right, bet. That bro was out of there, y'all, so boom. It was good seeing Brian though, man. You know what I mean? Like when you bump into a dude, the only thing I didn't like about bumping into him was that he was bumping back into me in prison. Pause. Like, you know, like seeing him again, like that always used to be a bittersweet feeling for me when I see a dude go home and I'm sitting here like, yo, I can't wait till I can get short, or I'm mad I got all this time, and I'll see a dude go home and then 2-3 years later, or 2 years later, or a year later, you will see this man walk back into the doors, man. Like I felt like that used to be a smack in the face for me and everybody else that's trying to get out. Now, this their life. They can do what they want, but and mistakes happen, or whatever the case. But like, still though, man, like I just told myself I would never be that dude. And I know you're supposed to say never, but I just always said I would never come back through them gates, y'all. So boom, you let me out, I'm gone, man. I ain't never looking back. I ain't coming back to this place where I can let the pipsqueak tell me what to do. They got the freaking maniac sergeant ladies and all these other women that's just trying to push a bunch of BS at you, man. I was just fed up with it, man. I did 16 and change. I almost did a dub, y'all. I was fed up with it, man. So seeing dudes coming back, I ain't like it. You know, so the weekend came around. So when the weekend ended up happening, I get the pack again. Big Tip come through for me. I get the loud pack again. Me and my man Gappa Zipperooski. I got a half a zip of the loud pack. You know what I mean? And my little homeboy ended up getting some hottie chicken. So I got a little bit of that too. So like everything is going smooth. So I'm telling my homeboys about the dude Brian. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling what neighborhood he from. You know what I mean? My man don't know him, you know what I mean? So my man like, I don't know, dude. I was like, yeah, he was on Sussex, he went home. I was like, for real, bro, be down on them joints. You know what I mean? Bro, be down on them joints hard. I was like, bro, be on them joints. And I was like, for real, he mess around and get a roller. I was like, for real, I wish he was over here. I was like, cause he mess around and get a roller. You know what I mean? So I'm just telling him about what was going on. Everything was straight. Me and bro continue on doing our thing over there. You know what I mean? We getting a loud pack. We getting to the money over there in the building. So fast forward the tape a little bit, man. Fast forward the tape probably about 2 months. Like 2 months, you know what I mean? Now, since the 2 months of bro being on the compound, like, for real, I looked out for him when I had got the pack that time, y'all. I threw him something. I went outside, looked out for him. You know what I mean? He was asking me questions about this and that. You know what I mean? I'm filling him in on the stuff that I knew about. You know what I mean? We talking through the gate. So he used to come to the school sometime and catch me when I used to go to school. And he know from being on the other side, that's another way how you could come talk to somebody. So he would come talk to me. and give me the game. He was telling me like, yo, look, I just booked the joint over here. He was like, yeah, a little young Jake, you know what I mean? He told me her name. We gonna call her Miss D, you know what I mean? So I'm like, for real, like I used to see Miss D a lot. You know what I mean? She would come to outside sometimes. She was another little young looking joint, you know what I mean? Always looking serious, but cute in the face, kind of short, you know, wasn't big or nothing, had a nice little body. She was another joint that was running around, and for real, like she wasn't a cop at all, you know what I mean? She'll just do her job and leave. That's how she carried it. Like she didn't care about nothing. So when he tell me he at her, I'm like, for real, bro? He was like, man, I'm at her, bro. He was like, bro, I'm at her, bro. Real talk, I'm at her neck. I'm at her neck. So as me and him talking we at the joint, in the school joint talking. So we didn't even know that Miss Williams was the lady, because they always have a CO working at the desk right there inside the little school building, you know what I mean? It's like 5 doors, 5 classrooms going down the hallway, and the CO sits at the main door where you exit out at. Kind of like when you come out at, it's by the medical, where I be telling y'all they be taking dudes when they get in trouble, or you gotta go to medical. Like it's by medical and it's by the yard. So me and bro, we out there just was talking the whole time, so they let out. So as we right there, we see Miss Williams come down the hallway, and she came down the hallway. She was like, she knew me from 30 building. She was like, what? You been out here the whole time? I was like, nah, I ain't been out here though. She said, yes, you have. I've been hearing y'all talk, because I was in the classroom talking to the teacher. She said, I've been hearing y'all talk down here for like 20 minutes. I'm like, no, I won't. As I'm saying that, I just see Brian like, he just sizing her up like this. He like, she talking to me. She like, and what are you looking at? He was like, I'm looking at you, sexy. She was like, what? He was like, I'm looking at you. She was like, you better watch your mouth. He was like, man, what you talk about? Bro done got his swag right, you know what I mean? Bro got the little fade game. Bro had a little light fade. He had like the little Bootsy Jake with the light fade game. He had a new haircut, but he down on her. She like, you better stop. He like, nah, I'm saying though. He like, look, don't make me come on that other side, man. He was like, you sexy too. She was like, you better stop playing with me. Why, you better tell him. I was like, man, I ain't telling him nothing. I dipped and I left him alone, y'all. So boom. So I guess bro shot his shot. I don't know if he did or not. You know what I mean? But we dipped. So I go back to the building. Everything was copacetic. Everything was straight. So I used to holler at bro from school, or I'll catch him at the gate, and me and him would have conversations. So he telling me that he got the joint, Miss D, you know what I mean? He like, yo, I got her, bro. He was like, look, I'm about to get my bro to meet her, I'm like, yo, what's up, He was like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't really need nobody for the work, so I'm just gonna look out, man. I ain't gonna lie, you know, I'm just getting up here, Weezy. You already got a situation, man. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, you right, bro. Like, I never was a greedy dude. Like, and just to hear that my man is on, I know if I need it, he got it. And he gonna look out. That's just how I go. So I was happy for him, you know what I mean? Hearing that he make the play. So he was like, look, when I make the play, bro, he was like, look, man, I might need you to help me. I was like, bro, there's plenty of people on your side. You know what I mean? He was like, well, I'm gonna clean the money. I was like, bro, you gotta get a jiggle box, bro. You gotta get one of these, bro. He was like, I know they got him over here too. He was like, I'm trying to get Shorty to bring one for me. He was like, man, for real though, she don't want to do it because she don't want me to get in trouble because she know I only got 2.5 years left. I was like, man, you stay short. And I said, man, how you going home twice on me, bro? You beat me home twice, bro. He was like, yeah, I go home at 15. I'm like, that's crazy, man. I was like, man, that's wild. You was super duper lucky dude. He was like, nah, look, I'm trying to make it happen. He was like, for real, I got somebody that'll pump the jump for me and got one of these. He was like, I'm trying to stay off the radar. And I was like, bro, that's your best bet. I said, because it's like trying to get money and have a joint. I said, dude's gonna hate, man. You ain't gonna survive in this joint, y'all. So boom. That's just how I go, man. So he was like, that's a bet. That's a bet. He was like, I'm still gonna throw you something. He was like, come to school on Monday. So I'm like, bet. So I didn't see bro all the way up until Monday. When I came to school on Monday, you know what I mean? He was there. So me and bro talked. He threw me a little something. He threw me like 2 spoons, you know what I mean? He had got some loud pack too, you know what I mean? He threw me 2 spoons. Me and him chopped it up a little bit. That's when he started telling me that he was nailing Miss D. He was like, bro, listen, bro. He was like, dudes in the pod mad. He was like, old heads mad. He was like, dudes be mad. So he was like, man, dudes that got mad because she came in my cell. He was like, she came in his cell. I was like, bro, what cell you in, bro? He was like, man, I sleep in the joint like 3 cells down from the handicap. So he was on the back wall, kind of behind the steps to the right side when you come in the block. He was like, man, dudes was mad because when they all went to child, they seen her coming out my cell. I was like, what you was doing? He was like, what you think I was doing? I was trying to knock her up. I said, man, go ahead, man. He said, man, I'm trying to make a baby, Weezy. I said, man, that's crazy. I said, bro. He was like, man, for real, I like that joint though, man. I was like, yeah, Miss D cool, bro. You know what I mean? Miss D cool. He was like, but that joint that y'all building though? He was like, man, Miss Williams, man, he was like, man, I want that jump, bro. He was like, I want that jump, bro. I'm telling you, I want that jump. I was like, man, for real, it's a few dudes that be hollering at her. I said, there's a couple of dudes, dude from the R, dude from, you know what I mean? It's a few dudes that be down on it. I said, but dude, there ain't nobody accomplishing that. I said, because the lady do her job. She does her job, man. So like trying to bag her is gonna be a major mission. He was like, man, I ain't tripping on it, man. He was like, for real though, she come on this side, I got her. But he was like, you said that junk San Francisco. He was like, bro, that junk cool over there. He was like, it's probably a boy or two over there. He was like, bro, like they don't mess with you over there, junk. I said, that's the only thing I liked about it. I said, when I was over there, I used to like that they didn't bother us, bro. I said, other than that, like the boys and the massive San Francisco going on, I said, that was the major problem. I was just trying to get to 30 building anyway. So he was like, yeah, I'm chilling, bro, for the time being. I'm chilling. So I'm like, all right, that's a bet, man. So me and him dip. So bro did his thing. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I knew he was gonna do that. I knew he was gonna come up here. I knew he was gonna bag. I knew he was gonna get a lady. And I knew all this was gonna happen, man. Because like when you blessed to come to Lawrenceville, it's almost like a lottery ticket, man. Like real talk, you write your amount up there. Like whatever you want Lawrenceville to be, is what you want it to be, man. Like if you're gonna be somebody that be like, I'm coming to Lawrenceville that's gonna sleep all day. Well, sleep all day. If you want to be like, I'm coming to Lawrenceville to bag a CO, they out here to get, bag them. If you want to be like, you a dude that want to come to Lawrenceville and get some money, the money is there, opportunities are there, the routes are there, the COs are there. Take your pick, man. Lawrenceville was the land of the opportunity for a prisoner, y'all. So boom. So I knew bro was gonna find his way because I knew how he carried it on Sussex 2. He did the same thing on Sussex 2, came and bagged. Bro ain't got a lot of time. Maybe that's his major game that he go at a lady with that I'm about to go home. And maybe they go for it, man. You know, bro was one of them old fly looking dudes, super fly. He just left the street, still smell like the street. Got to me, bro. He still acting. You know what I mean? He moved like he just was on the land. You can tell. I've been beating forever. So bro got it in. Bro got it in, man. He got the lady. You know what I mean? He got the lady. So I stayed in the block this particular day. But the only reason I stayed in the block is because I had to haul that big tiff. And for real, I was trying to put the play together early. And I was trying to make sure that I could do it before this super cop come on to work in the evening. And this, I'm not talking about Miss Williams. Like I'm talking about this other dude that used to work. So I'm like, man, I'm trying to put that play together. So I ain't go to school. I bucked. You know what I mean? I stayed in. I was like, this is a good time to use it. Everything copacetic. So I stayed in and used the jack. So when I use the job, stay in the joint, you know what I mean? So everybody out there, you know what I mean? This like Mob 3 or something like that. So this kind of like in the evening, you know what I mean? After lunch and shit like that. So I'm on the phone and shit. So goddamn, as I always be on the phone, you know, I got to cut up on my door. But as I always be on the phone, I'll get up and come peek out the door, make sure, you know, even though people going, people gonna let you know when the police in the joint. Crazy on Lawrenceville. I'm talking about the sirens go off. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but still, I'm still just coming, you know what I mean? Just peeking out the joint. Seeing what's going on, and I'll go to my window, take my joint out the window, look out my window, and see what's going on. You know what I mean? I can see the whole boulevard, the yard, everything, by the child hall, everything. I'm looking. Ain't nothing going on. Did the same routine. I'm on the phone talking to Big Tip. Did the same routine. I walked back to the window this time, and I looked. When I looked, I just seen all the brown uniforms, the COs, the women, everybody running towards the school. So I'm looking, I'm like, what's going on over there? So everybody looking, you know what I mean? It's people on the yard. Our part is on the yard. Everybody is out, just outside, like the yard jumping. So I'm looking at everybody like, what's going on? They all went into the school. So when they went to the school, you've seen them come out. They had one dude handcuffed, you know what I mean? Like an old head dude. Then I looked, I couldn't see what the other dude was, but I could tell it was like a young dude. He had little jeans and stuff. You know what I mean? I thought he was a young dude. So they take him. So I'm like, man, dudes was in the school fighting. Like that happens from time to time. I ain't tripping. Like that's something that happens. So I went back and finished using the phone. So I guess because of that, they ended up letting the yard off early. So the yard coming off early, so everybody come back in the park and hear the noise. You know what I mean? I heard the slider. I go to the door and look. I said, oh, that's Rhett coming back. I looked out the window. I seen everybody coming down the sidewalk. I said, oh, that's Rhett coming back. I sat back on the bed and used the phone. You know what I mean? So I'm using the jack. Somebody, next thing you know, you hear. I'm like, yo, like, Weezy, come here, bro. I'm like, who that? Like, yo, it's Tim. I'm like, man, I need to holler at you. I'm like, what's up? He was like, man, you know, few went to the hole. I'm like, who? Bro, Brian. I'm like, Brian, for real? He was like, yeah. So I was like, hold on. I put the jack up, do the cut down, open the door. He come in the joint. He was like, yeah, bro. He was like, man, this word, man. He was like, he came out and say he had to bang the old head up. He said, my man came out the school jump when they released school. He was like, yo, bro went animal ballistic on dude out in the hallway, man. I said, dude was in the way. I said, man, go ahead, man. He said, man, dude was hating on goddamn Brian. He said, dude was hating on Brian, man. I said, Brian snap. Brian put the paws on his dumb ass. I was like, that's crazy, man. So he went to the Bing. Bro went to the Bing. I was like, this shit crazy, man. Like, for real, man. But I was like, I'm hoping he come over here. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I hope they bring bro over here, man. Real talk. He got cut to 30 building. Like, him coming to our pod is a long shot. But I'm like, I hope they bring bro to 30 building, man. I promise you, man. So I'll say bro was back there probably like 2 weeks, because you never do a long time in the hole on Lawrenceville. Lawrenceville, I don't even know if it was 2 weeks. It might have been a week and change, but you don't do long on Lawrenceville in the hole unless you're getting shipped. So next thing you know, I looked up, they said, bro, over in 31 pod. I was like, what? I come down to stuff like this. I was like, I was like, yo, I got my man attention. I said, yo, dude from the town just came in there. He was like, yeah. I was like, man, call him. So he come, I see him. Brian comes to the door. He wolf and he comes to He like, what's up, T-Weezy? I was like, what's good? I said, bro, I gotta get you over here. I gotta get you over here, bro. He was like, I said, man, hold on. I asked him, let me go out here and holler at my cousin's got in the hole. He let me out. I walk out there. I'm like, what's up, bro? He was like, man, Weezy, you're crazy, bro. He said, old head was hating on me with the bra, man. He said, man, I had to put the paws on the old head.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.